It's 7:30. I'm Scarlett Swetanovic. Chris Luxon could get a chance to speak with the US President, with both in Malaysia. The Prime Minister's at the East Asia Summit, alongside co-hosting a leaders' summit with countries in the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. It's a significant milestone in diplomatic ties, including face-to-face meetings with world leaders. Geopolitical analyst Geoffrey Miller told Andrew Dickens a short chat with Donald Trump is the most likely possibility.
I don't think Christopher Luxon should in any way hang his hat on that as being the objective of the trip, because there are dozens of other leaders that he can network with and talk to, and they're very, very important.
News.
Good morning, it's 8 o'clock. I'm Scarlett Swetanovic. World leaders will be taking the chance to look at the potential future of trade without the US. Prime Minister Chris Luxon is attending the 47th Annual Association of Southeast Asian Nations Summit in Kuala Lumpur. US President Donald Trump has also arrived in Malaysia for the summit, his first stop in a 5-day Asia tour. Geopolitical analyst Geoffrey Miller told Andrew Dickens trade discussions will play a big part.
Leaders are looking to find a way forward with or without Trump. I mean, they do need to keep their heads down a little bit because they can't risk antagonising Donald Trump.
Making sure you're across the big stories this long weekend. Holiday Breakfast with Andrew Dickens. News Talk ZB.
Yes, good morning to you. It is 7 minutes after 7. Netball New Zealand's chair Matt Winnerade just 5 minutes away. But first, a big couple of weeks of diplomacy ahead for Prime Minister Christopher Luxon in Asia. He's going to attend two major events. The first one, the East Asian Summit known as ASEAN, which is being held in Malaysia. Donald Trump will be there. And then he's off to South Korea for APEC, where he'll be focusing on strengthening trade ties away from tariffs and barriers with a whole lot of key world leaders. So where is the world at? What will be talked about? Geoffrey Miller is a geopolitical analyst and joins us this morning. Good morning to you, Geoffrey.
Good morning, Andrew.
Everyone's going to be seeking a word with Donald Trump, I guess, over the two summits. How likely is a meeting with Luxon and Trump over the next week or so?
Oh, look, there's always a chance there. There's a chance that he will get some form of meeting, whether that's a formal bilateral meeting. I think that's at the least likely end of the spectrum, or a pull aside, a 5 or 10 minute chat. That's certainly possible. I mean, anything is possible with Donald Trump, but there will be so many leaders who will be keen to get Donald Trump there. I don't think Christopher Luxon should in any way hang his hat on that as being the objective of the trip, because there are dozens of other leaders that he can network with and talk to, and they're very, very important. If you look at ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, they're New Zealand's fourth biggest trading partner. Our exports there are over 10 billion New Zealand dollars. That's up a third since 2021. It's absolutely huge, and particularly when it comes to primary products like milk, dairy, obviously, and meat and produce, apples, fruit and so forth.
Is this the real importance of both these summits, that world leaders will be looking on how to keep trade going by ignoring America, by finding ways to keep trade going without America?
Yeah, I think that there is a large element of that, Andrew. I think leaders are looking to find a way forward with or without Trump. I mean, they do need to keep their heads down a little bit because they can't risk antagonising Donald Trump because, as we saw with Canada over the weekend, they were hit by another 10% tariff in response to a video that they had put out, or one of the parties in the Canadian government had put out over complaining about Donald Trump's views on tariffs. So, if you put your head up above the parapet, you will get clobbered. But you do need to find a way forward and working with others. And because there are just so many players involved at these two summits, both at the ASEAN summits in Kuala Lumpur and at the APEC summit in South Korea, there's so many players that Christopher Luxon can talk to. I mean, when you look at APEC, you've also got Latin American countries there. You've got the President of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum will be there, for example. You've got the new Japanese Prime Minister. She's going to be at both of these summits this week. Sanai Takaichi, she was sworn in just last week. So, there's just opportunities left, right and centre if you're Christopher Luxon to meet and greet, but also do a bit more than that. And there will be a special summit between ASEAN and New Zealand, probably either today or tomorrow in Kuala Lumpur, commemorating 50 years of ties between ASEAN and New Zealand. And those 11 members now of ASEAN are hugely important for New Zealand.
Yes, and with that Canadian decision, it shows that Donald Trump is still very much committed to using tariffs as a weapon. So is there any real way we can influence or change the 15% tariff that we are facing?
Look, you're going to have to hope for a bit of luck there. There will be so many other countries that are trying to get Donald Trump's ear. He did sign a couple of deals overnight, but with Thailand, I think, Malaysia, Cambodia on trade. So there's always a chance there that New Zealand will have a deal done with Donald Trump and bring the tariff down from 15% to 10% in line with Australia. But there's so many other countries vying for a deal. I think the real story, Andrew, of this week is going to be the big meeting between Donald Trump and Xi Jinping, the Chinese president, in South Korea. That's scheduled for Thursday. There was some good news overnight with that. There seems to be a preliminary deal. But Donald Trump has threatened 100% tariffs from this Saturday, and we hope that that's now off. But because that would have huge ramifications for New Zealand as well. But there does seem to be some good news on that front. But, as we know with Donald Trump and with Xi Jinping, there's no deal until there's a deal. And until those two leaders get together and agree, just anything could happen. And I think that will be the story of this week.
Jeffrey, I thank you for your time. Jeffrey Miller, a geopolitical analyst. By the way, Xi Jinping feels that China has become the big world dog. They own the rare earth. They feel like they're winning the tariff war. The question will be, will Donald Trump accept that? We'll wait to see. It is 12 minutes after 7.